Have you ever wondered about the most shocking betrayals in history? Let's start with one of the most famous betrayals ever, the assassination of Julius Caesar. Julius Caesar, a name synonymous with power and leadership, held a close bond with Brutus, who he considered not just a friend, but nearly a son. However, beneath this amicable facade, Brutus was part of a conspiracy brewing in the shadows of Rome. A group of Roman senators, including Brutus himself, began to view Caesar as a threat to the very fabric of the Roman Republic. This fear led to a plot to assassinate Caesar, culminating on the infamous Ides of March in 44 BCE. Brutus, along with his fellow conspirators, stabbed Caesar to death in a shocking display of political treachery. The irony of this act was captured in Caesar's alleged last words, "Et tu, Brute," a phrase that still echoes through history, symbolizing the ultimate betrayal by a friend. From ancient Rome, we now travel to the dark days of World War II, where betrayal led to the capture of Anne Frank and her family. In the heart of Amsterdam, the Frank family sought refuge from the Nazis' relentless pursuit, hiding in a secret annex, their world confined to a few small rooms. Their existence, a delicate secret, entrusted to a few loyal friends. Yet, in the summer of 1944, this fragile trust shattered. An unknown informant, whose identity remains a mystery to this day, betrayed their location to the German authorities. Within hours, the secret annex was swarming with Gestapo, and the Frank family's worst fears became a terrifying reality. Anne Frank, her sister Margot, and their mother Edith were sent to Auschwitz, and later to Bergen-Belsen. Tragically, they would not survive the horrifying conditions of the concentration camps. Otto Frank, the family's lone survivor, returned to Amsterdam to find his daughter's diary, a poignant testament to their struggle and hope in the face of unimaginable adversity. In the face of extreme adversity, betrayal can have devastating consequences. From the depths of World War II, we step back into the Middle Ages, where a heroine was betrayed by her own countrymen. Joan of Arc, a name that echoes through history, was a French military leader who inspired her countrymen with her courage and faith. She led the French to several victories during the 100 Years' War, turning the tide in their favor and becoming a beacon of hope. However, her triumph was short-lived. In a twist of fate, Joan was captured by the Burgundians, her own countrymen who were allied with the English. The Burgundians, blinded by political ambitions and alliances, handed Joan over to the English, the very enemy she had fought against. The English, threatened by her influence and victories, put her on trial for heresy and sorcery. Despite her brave defense, Joan was declared guilty. In the end, she was executed, burnt at the stake in Rouen, France. A heroine in her own right, Joan of Arc fell victim to the machinations of her own countrymen. Let us now cross the Atlantic to the time of the American Revolution, where a hero turned traitor. Meet Benedict Arnold, a respected military leader who had a significant role in the early victories of the Continental Army. His strategic brilliance shone in battles, earning him recognition and respect. Yet beneath the successful exterior, discontent simmered. Arnold felt underappreciated and overlooked for promotions he believed he deserved. This led him to concoct a scheme that would forever tarnish his name. In 1780, Arnold plotted to surrender West Point, a crucial fort, to the British. His plan, however, was foiled when his British contact, Major John Andre, was captured with incriminating documents. With his plot uncovered, Arnold fled to the British side, forever marking him as a traitor in the eyes of his former comrades. From hero to villain, Benedict Arnold's name has since become synonymous with betrayal. Moving forward to World War I, we find a tale of intrigue and betrayal surrounding the exotic dancer turned alleged spy, Mata Hari. Born in the Netherlands, Mata Hari took Paris by storm with her exotic dance performances and daring persona. Her captivating charm and flirtatious nature made her the belle of the French high society. But as the war intensified, her frequent travels and liaisons with high-ranking military officers caught the attention of the French intelligence. They accused her of being a double agent for Germany, using her charm to extract military secrets. Despite her vehement denials, the evidence seemed stacked against her. She was put on trial, and despite the lack of concrete proof, she was found guilty. In October 1917, Mata Hari, the magnetic dancer, the alleged spy, faced the firing squad, maintaining her innocence until the end. In the world of espionage, even innocence can be betrayed. From the world of espionage, we move to the realm of politics, where we find the tale of Leon Trotsky's downfall. Trotsky, a key figure in the Russian Revolution, was a close associate of Vladimir Lenin. His radical ideas and powerful voice helped shape the new socialist state. However, after Lenin's death, Trotsky found himself at odds with another rising power, Joseph Stalin. Stalin, with his skillful political maneuvering, managed to sideline Trotsky, painting him as an enemy of the state. Trotsky's influence diminished, and he was eventually exiled from the Soviet Union, a fall from grace that left him isolated and vulnerable. However, Stalin's paranoia didn't end with Trotsky's exile. In 1940, in a final act of betrayal, Stalin orchestrated Trotsky's assassination while he was in Mexico. Power struggles often lead to betrayal, as was the case with Leon Trotsky. From political strife, we delve into religious history, where we find the infamous betrayal of Jesus Christ by Judas Iscariot. Judas Iscariot, one of the 12 original disciples of Jesus, played a pivotal role in the narrative of Christ's life and death. He was the treasurer of the group, responsible for their shared money bag. However, his role took a dark turn when he agreed to betray Jesus for 30 pieces of silver. In a chilling act of treachery, Judas identified Jesus to the Roman soldiers with a simple kiss, a signal that led directly to the arrest and crucifixion of Christ. This act of betrayal, committed for a handful of silver coins, has been etched into the annals of history, forever associating Judas's name with treachery and deceit. Perhaps the most infamous betrayal in history, Judas's actions have echoed through the ages. From biblical times, we move to the early days of America, where betrayal touched even the Native American tribes. Pocahontas, a name synonymous with the founding of Jamestown, Virginia in the 17th century, was a beacon of hope for the struggling English settlers. With her knowledge of the land and its resources, she was instrumental in their survival. However, the ties of trust were severed during the First Anglo-Powhatan War. The English, the very people she had aided, turned on her and took her captive. This act of treachery marked a dark chapter in their shared history. While imprisoned, Pocahontas was converted to Christianity, married an Englishman, and became a symbol of the supposed harmonious relationship between the colonists and the Native Americans. Yet, her story ended far from her native soil. She died in England under circumstances shrouded in mystery, a tragic end to a life marked by cultural exchange and betrayal. A tale of friendship turned sour. The story of Pocahontas is a stark reminder of the bitter fruits of betrayal. Leaving the New World behind, we return to the Old, where the courts of England were rife with betrayal. Here, in the heart of the 16th century, Anne Boleyn, a woman of wit and charm, found herself entangled in the royal web. As the second wife of King Henry VIII, she was at the center of a whirlwind of political intrigue and scandal. Anne's tale of betrayal began when she fell out of favor with the king. Accusations of adultery, incest, and treason were hurled at her, casting a long and dark shadow over her once radiant presence at court. These charges, whether true or simply the product of manipulation and deceit, led to her downfall. The climax of Anne's tragic narrative was her trial, a spectacle that echoed with the cries of betrayal. Despite her plea of innocence, the verdict was already sealed. Anne Boleyn, once the Queen of England and mother to the future Queen Elizabeth I, was condemned to death. In 1536, the executioner's sword fell, marking the end of Anne's life and cementing her place in history as a victim of royal betrayal. In the treacherous world of royal courts, even queens are not safe from betrayal. Finally, we travel to the New World once again, where the conquest of the Inca Empire led to a shocking betrayal. Francisco Pizarro, a Spanish conquistador, is a name etched in history for leading this conquest. His ambition and military prowess enabled him to vanquish the Inca Empire, a civilization that had stood strong for centuries. However, this triumph was not without its pitfalls. Amidst the Spanish colonizers, a power struggle ensued, a deadly game of ambition and avarice. Pizarro, though a victor against the Incas, found himself in the crosshairs of his own countrymen. The seeds of dissent grew, fueled by jealousy and hunger for power, ultimately leading to a dire consequence. In the year 1541, Pizarro's tale took a tragic turn. He was assassinated, betrayed by those he might have once called comrades. His life, marked by conquests and victories, ended in a brutal act of treachery by his own fellow Spaniards. Even in victory, betrayal can lurk in the shadows, as Francisco Pizarro learned to his cost.